Welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 25 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on Northmarch Reloaded. This is 485.32 megabytes download. To say I'm conflicted with this mod map is an understatement. It is very much a tale of two halves. There are 20 required mods to download. DJ and I were talking yesterday. He worked that out. I think it comes in at the 485.32 for the map. It comes in just over 900 megabytes all in. So it's around the similar amount, 450-ish, 400 for the required mods that need to be downloaded, which for some people might be an immediate no, not interested. So I kind of came onto it a bit negative. And going around, there's some very, very cool stuff on it. The map's very well made. There's a ton of detail on here. But there's also some bits where you go, oh, okay, you'll see as we go around. And I don't want to be overly negative, but like I say, it has got me conflicted in my decisions. There are some opening times. There are 50 collectibles. Contracts are available. There are 5 custom crops, which we'll talk about momentarily. There are shop times. The shop times are 9 AM to 5 PM, or the main vehicle shop. You'll see me get there, that's cool. I've sped up the time till 9 because I've also given myself a motorbike for the first bit. You don't start with that normally on New Farm. I've got that out just for the first bit of the map tour. Garden Centre opens from 7 AM to 7 PM for the Garden Centre self. And a lot of the other places have got gates which you then have to open and close as you need to. Slot count on all 3 game modes is 2027. It's up there. I got that down to 1911 by removing all the vehicles and machinery. You can probably remove buildings and stuff. There are 3 main farms. 3 or 4? 3 main farms. Yeah, on top of the standard one thing. You'll see with those as well. Again, that's another one of those kind of, oh, okay, moments. It will make more sense moving on. The map, oh no, actually we're going to info. Under build mode, we've got in addition to some sheds with Northmarch Reloaded on them, he says, down there. We have got under silos, this is over and above the 20 required mods, and there's an absolute ton. We have got, there we go, Northmarch Reloaded, Northmarch Reloaded. So we do have something under silos. Then we go to tools. Interesting, we got that's the standard base game one, and then we've got a modded one again, Northmarch Reloaded. We have got under factories a few bits and bobs down here under factories, as you can see there. Then we have got a dog, and I think everything else was pretty much, or 2 dogs actually, that one and that one. Not too sure why there are 2, but there are 2. While we're doing that, if we come into here and come down, I'm going to show you these now. I say contracts are available, as you can see. Deadwood, bale wrapping, everything. Contracts plus, however you want to refer to that. We start with, because this is on the start farm, which obviously farm management start from scratch you won't own, allotment, garden and distributor. If we go across there, and you'll see all the various different things available. And again, I'm not going to go through on each one when we get to it and show them. You can always refer back to this bit if you want to. So we've got bakery, biogas plant, butter factory, carpentry, small dairy, flour mill, grain mill plus, which does cracked corn and some other bits and bobs, corn mill and things like that, oil mill, preserved food factory, sawmill, spinnery, sugar mill. The windmill is an interesting one. That's the Lort, isn't it, windmill? That does flour, oils and sugar. So it's kind of a 3-in-1 on that one. So those are all the productions that are available on the map, which you'll see as we go around. Talking of the map looks like this. There's a lot going on. We go across to our farmland. Now, this is another one of those things. I never understand this on a map, right? I put the motorbike there. You start here, on this little bend in the road. You don't start with a vehicle, equipment, or anything like that. Your main farm is over here. We do also own a couple of fields down here. But we're not the vehicle shop. It's weird. It's not even a bus stop. I'm not quite sure why that's chosen as the location for you to start. Anyway, it is. Verges of the map can be purchased. It's pricey. 7,726,723. We've got a couple of forest areas, and then field prices are probably what you would expect for the size fields. Nothing ludicrously high, nothing ludicrously low, so that's good. And then we've also got all around the map these plots, tiny little plots like that. There's another one there. They're scattered all over the place. One there, 247, 246. We got 244. Those are all wind turbine sites. There are a lot of wind turbines around the map. To be fair, when you look at the price of that, 8,154, if you're getting the wind turbine that's on it, 11 grand, it's well worth it, because you're going to be getting the income from those wind turbines at a very, very, very little outlay. Very cool. What I'm going to do before we crack on, I'm going to buy this one down here, 234. That's 128,880. Now we have got 234. We have got up here 232, and then we have got, I've lost it, 233 just there. So those three farms, those three farms over and above the start farm. And I'll explain when we get to those the details surrounding them. So like I say, we start here. We're going to do these bits. I was going to do this bit on foot, which I did when I was doing my prep, but I thought it might be quicker by motorbike. And then we'll switch over to the farm, and we do start with a car at the farm, so then we can do the rest of the tour from there. A couple of bits to point out as well. This section here is part of the verges. When we get over to there, there are sheep and goats in these fields. When you buy it, you don't own it. They're just there. I think a decorative item. These two fields can be purchased. They're grass fields on the outside of that. I think I've covered everything I was intending to. Oh yeah, the crops. So we go into here. Our extra crop types can all be put into the ground using seeders. So we've got our rye, triticale, spelt, green rye and field grass. Rye, triticale and spelt can all be harvested with a regular header, and they will have prices, so they are regular crops. Green rye is designed more for silage work, and I would imagine the field grass, there's no price for field grass, and the animal pens aren't showing that they take any of the like field grass hay or anything like that. I would imagine again that's going to be a crop that you can mow or chaff, or a silage crop, cover crop type thing as well. But the first three are definitely harvestable crops. So I guess we should whiz around, shouldn't we? I've left that there. Just around here, up alongside, actually you can just see him there, is Ben. Actually we'll go that way on the motorbike. That's why rather than have the car, I thought I'd grab a motorbike. Let's get cracking around here. There are 50 collectibles, I said that. Talked about the verges, done that. Contracts are available, we've done that. Cool, okay. You probably shouldn't be going down here on a motorbike, but thought it'd be quicker and easier than walking. So Ben is just there by the tower. We come out onto here. And this is what I'm finding as we go round. Sonnenblick sell point is just behind that building there. And if we go through the gardens at the back here, I'm just going to stop there a second. Through the back here, we've got a gas station. See the building there? There's our gas station. That's on the ring road that we were on. That loop round takes you around there. But look, we go here. There's sound effects at all different locations, and this is where I'm having that conflict, because the map is packed with detail. Yes, there are 20 download mods that need to be downloaded, but then there's some really, really cool features that stand out, like the sound effects, like the detailing. I'll show you a bit later on as well. There's some other bits, but some very, very cool bits. What I will say though is this is the bakery, and a lot of these modded ones that have been put in, there's no signage actually on the buildings. So whilst you can go to the map and zoom in and that says bakery, there's not really, as you're driving around, if you haven't got your icons and markers on, there's nothing obvious. Actually, is there a sign on the gate on the outside here? Oh no, it's not here, is there? See, some of the things are signposted and some of them aren't. Side note, just again, it's just a small thing, but it's you know, not necessarily glaringly obvious, because that fits the profile of a lot of the housing and stuff like that. So again, it's just something to be aware of. So as we continue around here, just across the way there we've got the preserved food factory, and because I sped up time, the gates don't open automatically, but you can then come to them and open them. Although I think the thing's around the wrong way, because that's now saying open door, and to open it, it said closed door. I've just noticed that. Preserved food factory is just there. We have got Let's get this the right way round. Flour mill is just there. Over the back there, again on just another little strip of road. As you can see, there's no collisions, well, at least for people on the hedges. Farmers market is just there, that building there. And then we come across the back here. We've got carpentry just here in this building. And then spinnery out on the end there. Yes, spinnery was out on the end there. And again, these can all be opened separately. But there's a load of detail, and the lighting is great. The colour palette works. The map itself is great. I don't know. I just don't know. So let's come a bit further down. We need to turn. Oh, actually, we're going to go through a hedge. Apologies for going through hedges and people's gardens. Oil mill is just here. Actually, can we go onto that road there? Maybe. So there's your oil mill. Oh, it just brings through on the back of here, doesn't it? Which is where we would have gone anyway. I'm just going to cut through some. Can I go in the vehicle? I can. Apologies for cutting through the gardens. People's homes. Right. So that was oil mill. Now we come round the road here. If you look at the mini map, you can see where we are. Come round to the dairy. So there's a large building with a small dairy out the front of it, but you can see the building. And this is another thing. Look, that's what I was going to say. The features that stand out. Look at that. It's under construction. You've got all the stuff here, like the building extension there, and you've got a person up there. Like, you know, it just adds that immersion to the fact that that's being built. That it could have just been there, but the fact there's someone up there as well kind of gives you the impression there's a worker. And then that plot I said 244, and there's all those little plots. There's one of the wind turbine plots there you can purchase. Maybe the big wind turbines aren't your thing. If they're not, then there's no reason at all why you couldn't go around, because the plots aren't that expensive. You couldn't buy up all the plots and remove them. Actually, you know, I haven't even tried doing that. How much is the plot there? 8,000. Let's buy it, because I'm assuming you get the wind turbine. What we'll do very quickly, we'll whiz round there. We've got a fair bit to get around. There's also loads of details, like coming out onto the roads. We've got the mud from the fields. You've got on the waterways and rivers and stuff, and on the lake as well. You've got stuff moving. So we've got ducks on here. We've got the sort of the foliage and stuff. There's a movement to it all. On the rivers, because you've got the ducks moving and this stuff is moving as it's going along the water, it gives that feeling of momentum, you know. I like that. So let's see, can we remove this? Hang on. See, that says, do you want to sell wind turbine? Minus 600,000. Not plus. So that in essence is then prohibiting you from going around and removing the wind turbine. Well, I don't check that, because that will leave me very short, and then I won't necessarily be able to do the things I need to do. Actually, I suppose we can, is it worth trying? I'm going to try it, because that's really weird. Yep. So that's stopping you from moving the wind turbines. Okay. That's a weird one, isn't it? I suppose because the land's so cheap, and buying them will earn you income, but then if you just went around and bought them all and sold them, because you've got them so cheap and then sell them for so much. Is that a big container ship off in the distance? Because we are on a kind of an island type thing situation, whether it's a peninsula or an island or whatever, you've got shipping coming all the way around, and you can see it, but you can't actually get up to the edges to see it. But if you go airborne, we're going to go up there. Yeah, which way are we pointing? Where's the lake? There. Yeah, look. So you can see the ship there out on the water. And there's shipping and boats and stuff that go all around the outside. There's some boats as well on the water, on the waterways inside as well. I love the fact you can just see them on. It's that real juxtaposition between this lovely countryside full of colour and this big shipping container going past. I suppose it's like anywhere like the Panama Canal and stuff like that. Right, so another really cool feature to show you. Look, we turn in here. Rutted trackways, but look, the trackways rutted with water and stuff in them. This is why I don't like this base game bike. It is absolute trash. Awful thing. Yeah, you got these rutted trackways with water in them. Really, really cool features that really stand out. I like it. Don't fall over again. There we go. So, across the bridge. And you'll see there you've got like stuff in the water, you've got ducks, you've got things moving. It just, yeah, I like it. So the shop, and this was what stood out to me as well. When I came to the shop initially, it was like just gone 6 o'clock in the morning, because you start. Oh, that's what I meant to say as well. You don't start 8 AM like you do on most maps. You start at 6 AM, and the gate was locked. When I come over here, now that's weird, because I was going to say it's really cool, because when it was closed, when I came over to the sign said closed. So I was assuming that when you come over to the sign the shop was open, that would say open, and it doesn't. Unless that just means opening times, I don't know, but yeah, that's weird that's... Okay, odd. Anyway, this is the main vehicle shop. This is the reset point for the map as well. Workshop trigger is just there inside the building. But again, a lot of detail going into this. You've got this little sort of garden bit here with glass out on the front of the garden, which I assume lights up at night. Main vehicle shop trigger is just there. I'm going to carry on the bike just a moment. So what we're going to do now is head out through the flood protection barrier. Just here. This doesn't open or close, but that's what it's intended to be for. And we come to the southern part. Whoa, brakes on this. Appalling. Is that because I went through the water? So this whole bottom section here, we've got a couple of points of wind turbines. But the only other thing is that farm we bought down here. So we're going to whiz round to the farm and have a look at the farm. Then we're going to jump to our start farm because there's a vehicle there, and then we'll carry on the map tour from there. I do have to speed up. This is the thing. There's a lot to cover on this one because there's a lot going on. Now this is not a mod review of the required mods. So I'm not going to go into huge detail. You know, I've shown you what the productions do and all the various different things the productions have in them. But this is not a deep dive into the mods themselves. So, plot 234. We'll stop here on the bike. We won't be needing that again. Just a little bit quicker than walking, really. Anyway, wardrobe trigger at the back of the building. So this is part of the half timbered barn building set. We've got the sleep trigger around the front of the building. We've got a dog kennel just over here, so we do have a dog. Silo is a 400,000 litre inside the building there. Like I said, these are required mods. Fuel point just here. Manure heap, cow barn, 200 cows. Just in there. We've then got 2 bale and pallet storages, each one 250, so you've guessed it, 500. Shed space, and there's nothing in that shed, that's empty, but there is a shed, and these are the ones that you can't open the doors, the main doors. You have to go in through the small door, and then you can open the bigger doors. So if you're wondering why your bigger doors aren't working, you need to go in through the small doors first, and then open the bigger doors. But again, this is, you know, a lot of these, there's bits and bobs knocking around that make it. I thought this building had a workshop, but oh, there's the dog. But I don't think it does. Open space up here as well. 3-door garage. We've then got a liquid manure storage, slurry store, 4 layers. This is the pig pen, but the trigger is around the front. Silage clamp just here. Now, as well as the 400,000 litre silo that's inside the building, we do have the wooden silo there. That's a 10 million litre multi-fruit silo. If we open our door here, our pig pen here for 70. I want to say 70, or was it 50? It was 50, not 70. 450 pigs just there. Now, that's a good point actually, because I'm looking now thinking, cows, chickens, pigs. I haven't come across on the map a sheep pen, and if those sheep that are out in that field are a sheep pen you can use, that's on the verges of the map, which is going to cost you 700 million. Not 700 million, 7 million, which seems a bit daft to me. Because no other plots I've come across that are pastures, unless I've missed something glaringly obvious, but I don't think I have. Anyway, carrying on. So 10 million litre silo, chickens just here. The chickens were 70, that's why I had 70 on my mind. We come around here, we can actually go back through the barn. And that is plot 234, the farm just here now. something to be aware of. And again, this is you know what I'm saying about the conflict. And I'm sure I said this when I did the map tour on this the previous time. If we go airborne and we look at the layout of this farm, right? Cow barn, bale and pallet storage, 2 of shed, slurry point, pig pen, silage clamp, large silo. Oh, I forgot to show that one. That's the fertilizer storage. The half timbered barn, the shed across the back of that, chicken pen. The other 3 farms, or the other 2 farms in addition to this one, are identical. They're the exact same layout, just complete duplicates of this. So there's no variety to it. And when I got to the second one, I thought, I remember this now. I'm sure I said this when I did the map tour before on the previous version of this. I don't know why it's just not mixed up a little bit. You know, for all the effort and time that's gone into the map and making it as pretty as it is, with all the great details and stuff, just moving some of the buildings around, even if you use the same buildings but add them in a different orientation, or I don't know. Yeah, anyway, they're duplicates. You'll see when we get there, but I won't buy those because, like I say, they are the same triggers and the same stuff. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump to the main farm. Now, all I would have done is driven up the road we came along, up past the store, and there's a road that runs around there. We would have gone round that road and ended up there. So I'll see you there in a moment. So here we are. This is our start farm on New Farm. As you can see, the gate is shut, but we can't open the gate. And the weird thing with this being, this isn't a duplicate. This is done differently. So there's Walter for a chat. Sleep and wardrobe trigger just there. There's our car we're going to be using for the rest of the wander round. If we come into here, we've got fuel point just there. We do have we do have a dog kennel. Open the door there and come in. John Deere in here. Workshop trigger inside this building, and then a load of equipment and machinery. Seeder, windrower, forage wagon, weeder, mowing rig, spreader, cultivator. Come out the front of here. Across the way, shed space with our harvester, header and header trailer. Lime station just there. Slurry storage point just there. Karma 16 silo for seed and mineral feed just there. If we come out of this one and round, distributor. So that's part of the OmaTana pack set, and we've got the allotment which is just over there. Those are the 2 productions, as I said, we start with on New Farmer because they're here on the main farm. So the distributor will allow you to distribute, if you haven't seen one of these before, or the mods, you can distribute stuff. Digestate, liquid fertilizer, manure, seed, slurry, solid fertilizer, water, around wherever you want to send it. Awesome. We've got a Farmer 500 silo. That's a standard main game one, so that's standard crop types. 2 bale and pallet storages, 250 each. Slurry spreader, plough, weight around there. We come into here. Massey Ferguson sprayer, baler, tucked away in there. And again, this has got all this stuff, again, all this detail, that there's construction going on at the farm. Things are happening, you know. Water tanker just there, and our allotment garden just here for doing the various different allotment type things. OmaTana stuff, weirdly I've just started using these on my Let's Play, but that's by the by. So that's the start farm, which is different to the other ones, but there's again a ton of detail, and it's great, and it works, and it looks good. So let's get cracking along, because we have still got an absolute ton to do. To be fair, it's that weird thing, isn't it? It does actually oddly make it easier, the fact that the other farms that we're going to go to are duplicates, because I don't have to buy them and then go around and show you every single item on them, because we've already seen it at the first farm. So I can just say, look, you know, I can show you the aerial view. You know what all those buildings are, what they have. Like I say, it kind of makes life a little bit easier. Now, when we cross over the bridge here, I don't know if it's still there or whether it's floating. Oh yeah, when I came across, did my prep, there was a boat on the water, so I'm assuming the boat just follows a route. Oh, there you go. The boat just gradually goes around. It's just little details like that. I like that. It stands out. Now this road weaves round as it goes along there. There's a turning to the right which loops us back round, but I'm just going to cut across here because it will save a little bit of time. So here is that windmill that does the flour, oils and sugars, should you want to buy that. And now we're heading north. So plot 232, the next farm. See the dog wandering out in the street, that's sensible and safe. So there we go, spin that around, and there's our layout that we saw on the previous one. So that's the next farm. When you buy this, you do get this plot opposite, which, I don't know, you can put production on it. Oh, that's interesting. But yeah, so you do get that plot of land with it. There are jets that are flying. I don't know if you saw. There you go. There's jets flying. I don't know why I haven't got the sound this time. When I did my prep, you could hear them every time they flew over. Oh, mind the dog. Carrying up the road, we have got in this facility to the left-hand side. Oh, sounds like a car. We've got Lime Station to the front, and then Ag Sell Point. So I think there are 3 of these sell points on the map. And again, I don't know. They're identical, you know. And I've said this before about maps. They're integrated into the landscape really nicely. There's the sell point, the Lime Station around the front, but they are identical. So is that kind of, look, here's a mod that I've got, and it's just kind of plonked. I say plonked, it's not plonked. There's loads of detail. You know, one of the required mods is decorative items pack, and there are decorative items galore, as you can see from the map itself. So next up then we have got Lime Station, Grain, Ag, Sell Point. Alright, we've got Grain Mill to our right hand side, just past here, and we've seen the production, so that's just in there. We've got the Garden Centre, again, tons of detail. So Garden Centre with the Garden Centre Sell Point in the middle there. There's not a buy point or anything here. Actually, I want to just double check something, because that's what I was going to say. This plot here, I was on as part of the exterior, which again 7 million. I say it would be quite cool, because you could put some buy points on here for coming and buying seed and fertilizer and stuff like that, or a pallet spawn point, so you could come and buy pallets and stuff from it if you wanted to. That would be quite cool for the garden centre. But to get that plot of land to put that on, it's going to cost you 7.7 million. Out at the end of here, and we turn right. Technically stopped. Supermarket is just out here. Around the back of there. There's our supermarket. Right, so follow this road along the top. It's little things like all the signage, the little walkways, the pathways. And that's the thing, I don't want to take away from the construction of the map. You know, yes, there are a few things here and there that are a bit, and that's what I mean. That's why I keep saying it. Torn. I said I don't want people's, whole reaction to be, oh, well, it's rubbish. No, it's not rubbish. Not at all. And maybe I'm being overly picky, potentially. Sawmill is just here. Again, we've seen the sawmill production, but there's our sawmill. Fairly standard as far as sawmills go. This one does do prefab walls as well, as we saw when we were looking at the productions a little while ago. But there's your sawmill. Come out from the sawmill. Oh no, gone the wrong way. Let's go back up onto the main road. Sorry. There's another boat going on there in the distance. Very cool. So this facility here is country. Whoa! My fault, wasn't indicating, but fair enough. Didn't look in my mirrors. Oops. So this is country trading point. Just here, around the back of this, we've got another lime station. I do also wonder as well, there's a lot of lime stations on there. How much lime can you need? I think every facility's got a lime station of some description. Anyway, what did I say? Packed with detail. Next on the list. I'm not going to buy it, but we have got the biogas plant. Now, the biogas plant was on the production list. Difference between the biogas plant and standard biogas plants is this one takes potatoes as well. So here's our biogas plant. It's 1,250,000 to buy. What's curious about this as well is, well, not curious, but you've got these extra plots. That plot there, silage clamp. That plot there, silage clamp, and that plot there. Oh, that's the rest of the land. Okay. I thought it was over where the sheds were. So you don't get the land when you buy the biogas plant because it's 1,250,000. So if you want the land, you buy that, which is the same value, 0. So we can buy the land, that's not a problem. But the two plots that have got the silage clamps on need to be bought separately. I guess if you want to remove them and put other silage clamps in. But fuel point just there, which will become available, as will the shed, once you purchase the land. Whoa, okay. No, I'm going to do it. Whoa, my days. What's happened to my steering? Right. It's not all straight roads, as you can see. There's the odd bend here and there. I'm sure there was another Dutch map. I'm trying to think. So obviously I don't want to, they all kind of start to blur. That had roadworks and stuff on a bend like that. Mind you, I've done hundreds of map tours. I can't remember. I genuinely can't remember. I'm hoping I've come the right way. I think so. So down to this point here, yes, we have come the right way. And in here, we have got sugar mill just there. We've got a lime station just to the back of that building, just there. And then the sell point here is TG, so this is the TG sell point. Did I mention the collectibles? There are 50 collectibles. Spoiler alert. Oops, a bit late. Then across the road from here we've got the restaurant sell point, which again, when you pull in here, there's lots of sound and it feels like there's activity, you know? And this is what I was talking about. This is that plot. There's sheep and goats along here, but that is all part of that. If you want to go, hang on, if you want to go airborne, that plot there on the outside, that is the grass field that you can purchase. There are two of them that run right down the outside. These ones are part of the external. So I'm assuming those are just decorative, because if they're not, I don't have 7 million on my for doing this, but I think they've got to be, because if they're not, then that's wrong. I mean, there needs to be an affordable price to buy them if they are sheep pens that you can actually operate, I would say. Again, I'm not trying to be overly negative, I'm just, highlighting those points. Right, from here, we're getting there. We're back this way. I was just trying to find the most efficient route most of the time, but sometimes you have to do a little bit of backtracking to this turning here. It's not all flat as well, as you can see, look. We've got the odd hill here and there. Oh, I can hear a jet. They are about. There you go. We're obviously near an airbase. I can guarantee I said that on the last time I did a map tour on this map. Or any of the maps that have jets flying over constantly. So from here we're going to go right. Oh, so that car's giving it some beans. So down here and around the side we've got the next sell point. This has got a lime station and this is EQ sell point on the map. Just in there, lime station and EQ. We think, okay. One of these, which one is it? Around here. We've got the butter factory, just to our right. We looked at that earlier on as well. That does a whole load of various different well, it does butter, but for using various different recipes and different things. Then we come to the next farm. This is 233. Whilst we have pulled in at a slightly different location. 233. There. Let's go airborne. Swing it around. Look familiar? There you go. That's 233. From 233, we've got David lurking in his garden. He's just there. Behind that, we have got the Grain Mill Plus. This is an interesting one as well. This is this is not a loop round. I'm not going to drive into it, but again, if we go airborne, so if we go in here and round, look at all this detail is amazing. So in and round, Grain Mill Plus is here. We then come round the road, because I thought, oh brilliant stuff, we'll go around into the next one. We can bring us down to the road at the back. So I thought I'd have to turn around. But anyway, that's Grain Mill Plus. Next door to that, we've got the animal dealer. Just try and look actually. What are the required mods? Let me just check. It might just be the fences that we used, because we had that pack of. Oh no, they're not. So the closer I get, we had that pack of solar fences. Now they're just metal fences. I did wonder if they were solar fences. That's just obviously they're just decorative because we're at the animal dealer. The front of the building. That's the animal dealer sell point. Katie is just there by the main doors. Animal dealer buying sell point for your animals is just there. We've got a manure buy point just there. No slurry point here. And then back out again. And the next facility over, not that one, this one, just here. Despite what it says on the sign, this is North March Point. So we've got a lime station around the back, and this is a sell point. So as we come around here, lime station to the left, just there. Sell point just here, North March Point. And then, blimey, have we done the whole thing? Just down the side road. And again, if I've missed any animal pasture or anything, I do apologise. I didn't think I had. You know what I'm going to do before I finish? And I wasn't intending doing this. We've got the agricultural fair sell point just here, tucked away amongst the trees. And if we come back to our map, we are now currently here. So we started off here on that loop. We did all of these bits here. We came down to the store, down to the first farm. We then went back to the start farm. We did the loop up here. Where did we go? Yeah, up here. Mill. Oh, I didn't point out Noah. Noah is lurking in the woods. He's not near the sawmill. He's just stood by a bench in the woods out there. We came up here and did all these, and then did the supermarket. We came along the top there and we swung around there, down to that one, and then the biogas plant was there. Which one was that? That was Lime Station and Country Trading. What was that one? Oh, the sawmill. Yeah. Then we came out along there and down, took in that cluster there and the restaurant. Then we came back up and we followed this road, round these, down here, cross here, and we're now here. So I say the whole bottom part of the map is all fields. There's no productions or anything down there. What I am going to do then, I'm going to put in some... oh, did I put them out? I didn't put them in for the map. It's not going to work. I was just saying I'm going to try and build my money up and buy that, because that sheep thing is... No, I'm not going to. No. It should be purchasable and not a 7 million. If those sheep are intended to be used, I think they're decorative. But anyway, that's the map. And like I said, I don't want the overall feeling to be, oh, it's all negative. There are some pluses, there are some negatives, pluses and minuses, positives and negatives. That's, mixing my phrases. But overall, it's a lovely map. It's nicely made, tons of detail. There's lots of cool positives to this. There really are. And if those farms don't float your boat, then buy the plots of land, remove the buildings and put something else on. But always remember, save your game first in case there's some features or decorative items or things you can't remove. At least that way you've kind of covered yourself for doing that. But there you go, that is North March Reloaded by LS Schleswig Holstein. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.